So sometimes people say to me, I need to say a story. I need to make sure I'm interesting to people. And then you spend your whole time trying to come up with a story, as opposed to being in the moment, connecting to your words and language, and feeling the story come through you. Now, some of us can do that easy, and some of us find that quite challenging. So some of us have to prepare, and then some of us flow in that quite easily. So for me, for example, I could be talking about any subject, and then maybe I've been practicing this without realizing. I visualize something. I visualize a plant, or I visualize, could be like I said before, food, and preparing food in different ways, then people could eat it. And I was using that as a story. So I'm being creative by using stories or an analogy to support what it is that I've just said. So how do we increase that creativity? Is to practice metaphors. Okay, so I could look at, this is in my personal life. How do I practice that? I'll look at a plant and I'll sit there and I'll look at it and I contemplate. Contemplate means I look at that plant and I don't say, now this is a lily-pilly tree. I don't say that. I just look at the leaves. And then I'll say, these leaves, and this has happened to me the other day, the leaves in the wind, because the wind was blowing and the wind, the leaves were making noise. And I said, I feel like I have an ocean in my house. It sounds like the sound of the ocean. So all of a sudden I'm looking at the trees, listening to the sound of the leaves in the wind, and I could feel the ocean. And I went, oh, that's nice. And so what did I do? I connected a tree to an ocean. So that is a way of getting your mind to think of things in different ways, instead of being logical all the time. And so logical that we are actually stuck, because the only way is 1 + 1 = 2, right? That's science and that's technology, right? It's so strict. 1 + 1 can also equal 1. You put one thing together with another thing and you have 1. But see, the mind that is kind of limited or restricted would say the answer is 2. So what I'm saying is, to increase your creativity is to look at nature, even outside of work, and start to contemplate on things. Expand your awareness and creative ways of thinking, so that when we're communicating, we can be more interesting and begin to bring the stories and the metaphors and the analogy simply to support what it is that we're saying, not because anybody has time these days to listen to a story because you need to listen to my story. No, the story needs to flow through what it is that we're saying to support with another dimension, another colour. It's like creating another colour, another twist, to understand what it is that you're talking in a 3D way, to cater for different people in your audience who have different ways of learning, which most of us want to be able to apply that knowledge, not just collect knowledge and information, but to find a way of applying it. So we use these stories and analogy to create a better and deeper understanding by being creative. And so you can practice creativity outside of the meeting, in life, even writing. So you can look at a tree and start to write about the tree without calling it a tree. It is something like this. It is something like that. And you're not allowed to mention the word tree ever. So these are just some little practices to help you be creative.